Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. On today's video session, we are going to be talking about the Panasonic Q, okay? But this time it's not just the Panasonic Q. Before we get into all this, after this. Everybody, welcome back. Audio session. Panasonic Q and Nintendo Gameboy. Let's do this. Yeah, couple of specific video on the Nintendo Gamecube game on this system. Download the device on the Panasonic game console. Okay. Enjoy. Cool. Right. So here we go. Today is the time that we're going to be talking about the Panasonic Q games console. I mean, a lot of people do not talk about expanding this system even further. There's not many information or videos on this kind of subject. So that's why we are bringing you this exclusive information that you'll be excited about. This is that I'm going to be showing you pictures on it as well. The Panasonic Q has a add-on. Yeah, the add-on is like more like a unit, like a module thing for this system. It's called a Panasonic Gameboy player. Now, I will be making a very good video on this Panasonic Gameboy player separately, where you will get more detailed information about this. Okay? There's one thing that a lot of people are not understanding. Because a lot of people, when they make Panasonic Q games console videos, they say it's the most amazing system. What are they actually saying? I mean, are they saying it to the actual system that there's never been anything like this before? Or are they including the Nintendo Gamecube with it? Because we're not understanding what do they mean by it's the most amazing gaming system ever developed. We're not actually getting the message of here, really. Because it seems to me when they're saying this, it's got something to do with something else. Anyway, let's get with this video because I'm going to tell you something in the end anyway. So, let's continue anyway. Right. This is the Panasonic Gameboy player. Now this is the box that it comes in, okay? Because loads of people don't even show you the box. Because I've seen this video, they just attach it to a system and they start using it. I think that's completely wrong. We need to see the actual the actual item itself. Okay, so this model is a Panasonic SH-GB10-H Game Boy Player. That's what this thing is called, okay? So this is the front box here, okay? Which you're seeing right now. This is the unit called the Panasonic Game Boy Player, okay? And this is another, like a DVD case. I think it says here, I don't know, I think it says Nintendo there. And it says Gamecube over here. And it says Game Boy Player here, okay? It comes inside this case. Inside this case, this thing is a manual. And on this other side, there's a CD, okay? There's a CD. You have to open it up. It's just like a DVD case when you open it. So just enjoy this picture. Before we enjoy this picture, underneath the studs, look there. Can you see that? Underneath. He holds it in place. Okay? He holds it in place. And here is the extension port underneath the Panasonic Q, which goes, you have to take these two panels off. Take one is taken off from here, one is taken off here, because under your Panasonic Q, there's two of these pieces you have to take off, and this just fits it underneath there. Okay, so anyway, enjoy the image. Okay, next image. Okay. Next image will be this one. I'm going alphabetical order the way I want to show it. Now, again, this is another picture. Now, this one makes it even clearer. So, with this Nintendo Game Boy Player, look what it says here. It says Panasonic. It's got Panasonic red all over from left to right. Amazing, isn't it? I think these are the 4 holes. Something here. Because these 4 holes, right? You're probably thinking, why are there 4 holes here? Because underneath the system, there's some studs to hold the system, isn't it? So them studs under the Panasonic Q will go in here. Okay? They'll go in. And then, as usually like the original Nintendo Gamecube with the gameplay where you have to just screw it, yeah, from underneath. And again that DVD case. Yeah, it does say, look, Nintendo. Then it says Gamecube here. And yeah, it's a Game Boy Player, as we can see. Enjoy the image. Okay, let's go on to the next image. Next image will be this one. It's a bit small, isn't it? So I don't know if it's going to be clear about. Right. Now you can see clearly properly from here now, yeah? They're proper like round circles, yeah? Look up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Panasonic Q studs have 4. They'll go in each one of these holes. Okay? And here it says Panasonic. Okay? And this part will fit underneath. Actually, you don't take 2 pieces off, I think. I think you don't do that. Because if you look at it clearly, the pattern, if you look at this pattern properly, let's clear this properly. It's just like 1 piece you have to take off, and this part needs to fit underneath the Panasonic Q. You'll find out where it's going to fit, okay? It's very easy. So anyway, enjoy the image. Next image. Alright, the next image will be this one. You're probably thinking, why are there two Game Boy players here? Yeah? Okay. This one, look, it gives you away straight away. Panasonic, Nintendo. This one, the largest size one, is the Panasonic Q GBA player. The smaller size one is a black GBA player. This is the Nintendo Gamecube GBA player. This small one is. Alright? Now if you look at each one of them, yeah. Now this image is even better. Because better and better by each image, isn't it? Now, as I said, the studs going there. Look underneath there. Look. Can you see that silver thing? One there. One there. One there. One there. These are the screws. Because underneath the Panasonic Q stud, there's holes. Yeah? And this screw will go underneath the stud hole. Do you understand what I'm saying? So basically, you know when you buy the Panasonic Q, the stud underneath, which you put in place, there's a hole in that stud. And this screw will go in there. That's it. You screw it. And it fits it in place. Same one with this one as well. Now, why are these sizes like these? Because the Panasonic Q Games console is a bigger system in size. That's why this one's big. And the Nintendo Gamecube is a small size system. That's why this one is smaller. So there you go. And both of them have this piece. This one is in the middle, isn't it? Can you see the extension port on this one? Now this one is right at the top. On the Nintendo Gamecube, it's different, isn't it? Yeah, so there's a difference there. So anyway, enjoy the image. Next image. Now this will be the final image. It's one of the most interesting images out of all of them. Wow, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So what is this thing? This is the Panasonic Q Games console, Panasonic Q game controller, Panasonic Q remote control. So Panasonic Q remote control. Yeah. A full gaming and multimedia experience. Yeah. Now with the Panasonic Q game controller, this is for your gaming. Yeah. And with the Panasonic Q remote control, it's for multimedia. Okay. Now, if you look on this system right properly, okay, I'm gonna just talk about it from top to bottom. It makes it just clearer. And you know these four screws here, they just hold the side panel. I don't know. Okay, you can see that. Now this thing at the round, can you see the round thing at the top? One there, one here. These are the two handles that you can lift it up with. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Have you ever seen a system with the handles? Well, I haven't. This is the LCD display, which shows you the DVD/CD and Nintendo Gamecube information on here. Okay, this actually lights up. Yeah, it does. You know, it's really good. This is Over here, then below that, there's these buttons for your DVD, CD. Okay, there's buttons on this side as well. Buttons on this side as well. And this is the DVD tray. And this is the 4 controller ports. When it goes to a gaming mode, these 4 controller ports will lit in blue LED light. It's amazing. And these are the 2 memory card slots. There you go. Can you see? If you look properly here, this front part is very shiny. Yeah? This is a very special thing I've never seen in any system. This is a mirror faceplate. Now, can you see this Panasonic Q Gameboy? Look, you can see it in there. Look at that. It's like a mirror. It's like a mirror. It's amazing, isn't it? Now, right at the bottom, yeah, can you see that part? That is the Nintendo Gameboy. Oh, sorry, this is the Panasonic Gameboy player. Panasonic Gameboy player. Can you see it's fitted underneath properly? Okay? And look at the front. There's a port there. That port is extension port for what? It's for Gameboy Advance system. Gameboy Advance. What's sitting up there? Basically, when you buy 2 Gameboy Advance systems, that was made for 2 player. And then there was a link cable that you connect for Gameboy Advance 1 to Gameboy Advance 2. It's for 2 player game. That's what 2 Gameboy Advance systems are doing. This is the same thing. When you got a Gameboy Advance, you got a link cable from the Gameboy Advance. You connect it the other side here. It's for 2 player. It's literally for 2 player. Yeah. So what that means, if you got one Gameboy Advance, right, and the second person can use the game controller here, and it turns into a 2 player, right? Is that the only way you could do 2 player on the system? No. Obviously, this system has a Nintendo Gamecube in there. Once you got a cartridge in the Game Boy player, we're going to talk about that a bit, don't worry. Once you have the cartridge, yeah, the cartridge goes in here. Alright? The cartridge goes in here. Okay? When the cartridge goes in here, you connect 2 controllers, Panasonic Q game controllers, one there, you got 2 there. Straight on the system. It's better than having the extension port, isn't it? It's much better than that. Because it's the same thing you would do with 2 Game Advance. Where there's a cartridge in there, you need a cartridge in here as well, isn't it? Really. So I wouldn't really bother with this extension port, really. Over here, you can't see it properly, is the eject button. When you press this switch, the cartridge will pop out. You have to press this switch over here, okay? And it will pop out. Anyway, so there you go. Enjoy the image. Okay, you must enjoy the image anyway. Now, this system, right, is manufactured by Panasonic. All right. Panasonic gave us multimedia features. Nintendo gave us Nintendo gaming. Obviously, Panasonic changed these stuff from the original Nintendo Gamecube. Yeah, there must be the same ones in this one as well, or they made different ones in there. Because the system's bigger, isn't it? They probably must have changed the circuitry and all that. But it's still the Nintendo Gamecube one, yeah? Now, this system, when we talk about Nintendo, what do you get from Nintendo side of this machine? You get, when you buy the Panasonic Q Games console, you will get a Nintendo Gamecube games. Alright? When you buy the Panasonic Q Gameboy player, which is this here, I don't know if you know this, originally the Nintendo Gameboy Advance SP, alright, played 3 types of games. Nintendo Gameboy, them are the black and white games. Nintendo Gameboy Color, color games. Finally, Nintendo Game Boy Advance games. He played all 3 of them. And that same technology is in the Nintendo Game Boy player. Now, the original Nintendo Game Boy Advance systems could not be connected to television. And that's why Nintendo made for the GameCube, the Nintendo Game Boy player for that system first. And then follow up on the Panasonic Q Games console, a Panasonic Game Boy player was developed as well. In this system also, you were able to play Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy Color, Nintendo Game Boy Advance games. Wow! Amazing! So you're getting four gaming systems. Nintendo Gamecube, Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy Color, Nintendo Game Boy Advance. But remember one thing, when you're going to buy this system, the Panasonic Q Games console, you will only able to play Nintendo Gamecube games. Alright? This is a Japanese system, so beware of that. Okay? Beware of all that. Panasonic Q Games console is Japanese system, so you're only going to be able to play Nintendo Gamecube Japanese games on this system. But if you buy a Freeloader, with the Freeloader, you should be able to play UK, US games on there. Yeah, you're able to do that. Okay? But with the Nintendo, now, once you buy Nintendo Game Boy player unit, you have to buy that separately, you know. You have to buy that separately. With that unit, which is this one at the bottom, as you can see, yeah, you will able to play Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy Color, Nintendo Game Boy Advance games. Just like the original Nintendo Game Boy Advance systems, okay? Same thing like that. But this Nintendo Game Boy player is special because you could play Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy Color, Nintendo Game Boy Advance on television. You will be able to play on television, and for each system, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, it's got their own options. Okay, it's even got more options in there. All right, and one of the biggest bonus thing about the Nintendo Game Boy player is, you know, these 2 ports. You're able to do 2 players straight away on it. It's amazing. It does that. It's really, really good. You should be able to do multiplayer. You know, games like Super Mario Advance, Sonic Advance, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival, yeah, you'll do that. But can you play UK, US games on the Nintendo Game Boy player? That's the point here, isn't it? I'll tell you one thing, you won't able to play any UK games on the Nintendo Game Boy player. Alright? You won't able to do that. Now, obviously this is a Japanese system, because each Nintendo Game Boy player comes with a software. Alright? It comes with a software. And the Panasonic Q Gameboy player comes with a Japanese software. So you're able to use with that disc, because the disc needs to be in the Panasonic Q Games console. You see the CD, it's made for the GameCube system. But here, this is a Panasonic Q. So if you buy the Panasonic Q Game Boy player, there'll be a CD in there. And that CD needs to go in the Panasonic Q DVD tray. Alright? You need to load that up. And with that, you should be able to play Nintendo Game Boy Advance Japanese games. You should be able to do that. Now, if you have the Nintendo Gamecube Game Boy player US version disc, if you got that, that's if this system is modded to play US games, yeah, then you should able, because if you put that US disc in there from the Game Boy player, you will able to play Nintendo Game Boy Advance games in US version. You will able to do that. You will able to do that. I know that idea works with when your system is mod, yeah, to play US and Japanese games. You know about that Switch, don't you? Yeah. One is the one with there's two mods to it. One is the one they use to hold this for a few seconds on the logo, then it goes to the US mode, and another one is at the back, which is a switch to turn into US and Japanese straight away. It works for that, okay? But I don't know if it will work, if that idea will work when you have the Freeloader disc, because I already told you that when you have this Panasonic Q in Japanese, yeah, system, yeah, and you will turn into a US games, yeah, with the Freeloader. It's like that, yeah. Obviously, the software just says that it just plays US games, doesn't it? That if they go that if you got a Japanese Nintendo Gamecube, you're able to play only US games. Well, that's not actually true. Because what I found out, the Japanese Nintendo Gamecube games will able to play both. It plays both. Well, that's what I said anyway. So if you put a Freeloader in there, in this Panasonic Q DVD tray, and you load it up, you should be able, when you swap the disc, you should be able to play US games, yeah? That's what it says. Maybe with that, you might be able to play US games, because end of the day, it's the same thing when you mod the system to play US games, isn't it? Because like once that screen pops up for US, you should be able to play, yeah. Because like if the BIOS takes you to the US mode with the preloader, you should be able to play. But the problem with that is that might not work, because when we have the mod system, it takes you to the main screen of Nintendo Gamecube, doesn't it? But when you have the preloader, does it take you to the front screen of the Nintendo Gamecube? That's the thing I want to know. Because when you put the preloader, it will come with the option saying insert game. Doesn't it really? It will come up with an option like that. Yeah, it will come with an option like that to insert game. Yeah, I think it would work. Yeah. I'm very sorry. Why am I so confused in this video? It would work. Because once you load up the preloader, you will swap that disc with the Nintendo Gameboy player disc, the US version. There you go. And you should be able to play US Nintendo Game Boy cartridges in US version. Yeah, it should work both ways. You don't even need to mod your system. So you got that kind of information on now. So, and that makes it easier. So if you ever wanted to play Nintendo Game Boy Advance games in US version, you could do that. Okay, so what do you need to do all that? Let's see. Okay, first of all, this system, Panasonic Q Games console, is Japanese. It only plays Nintendo games in Japanese. It's Panasonic Q Gameboy player. Nintendo Game Boy Advance is in Japanese. So it's only going to play Japanese games. If we just take out the box, yeah, it will do that. Now, if we want to play Nintendo Gamecube games in UK and US games, we need to use a preloader. Alright? The swappable technology. Whatever game you want there, you just insert that game for the Panasonic Q. This is the same thing for the Nintendo Game Boy. Now with Nintendo Game Boy, what you need to do, you need to put the preloader in there first, then swap it with the Nintendo Game Boy player disc or the US version. That's it. That's all you do. Then you're able to play. Now this is all sorted for you. So if we wanted to play Nintendo Gamecube games, UK, US games, you could do that. If we want to play on the Panasonic Gameboy player, playing Nintendo Game Boy Advance games, of not just Nintendo Game Boy Advance, I would say Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, you should be able to play all the US versions of the games. Amazing, isn't it? There you go. You probably didn't know that, but it does that. Because a lot of people will just tell you about the mod, but they're not mentioning anything about the preloader, what it could do. You don't need to mod this system, okay? Now, this is amazing because with this preloader software, thanks to that team who made the preloader, we've got possibility of playing Nintendo GameCube games in UK, US versions, and for Nintendo Gameboy Advance, US versions. Good, isn't it? Not bad. Not bad. As I mentioned to you, the Freeloader, you have to try this out. Okay? And I'm sure it should work. Now, as I mentioned to you about the Freeloader. The Freeloader I mentioned was UK, US games. Now, if we put the Freeloader, we can put in the Nintendo Gameboy player disc of the UK version as well, because this Freeloader will play UK, US games. If it can work for your GameCube, it will work for your Game Boy, Gameboy Color, and Game Boy Advance. It's the same thing, man. This Freeloader disc is amazing. Because with the mod, if anybody even made a video on it, they're just mentioning that you can use the Panasonic Gameboy player, yeah? With the Nintendo Game Boy Advance US versions. Why do they say that? Because the system, when it's modded, it only plays US games. And it can't play UK games, you see. It can't do that. You cannot do that. But with the Freeloader, we can play Nintendo GameCube games in UK versions. Yeah, and that's the same thing you can do. So what you need to do, you probably need to grab a Nintendo Game Boy player disc in UK version. You will need to get one of them. All I can say, once you buy this Panasonic Q Gameboy player, it will come with a disc, the Japanese version. Alright? But if you want to play UK and US versions, you need to get that disc separately. Okay? You need to get that separately. That's the only way around it. I'm sure some people probably sell that disc separately. I hope they do. If they don't, you have to buy the whole set. Yeah, it can be a bit difficult to do that. Okay? So this is the way you can use cartridges. If you are a bit skeptical what I've been telling you in this video, because we know it's a Japanese system, yeah? Okay? You could try this out for yourself. Get the Freeloader disc, load it up into the DVD tray, and play Nintendo GameCube games in UK and US versions. Check that out first. Once you're happy with that, then you could check out, buy one game of each. Alright? For Nintendo Game Boy, the black and white, buy two games. Yeah? One for UK, one for US versions. Same with Nintendo Game Boy Color. Buy two cartridges again. UK and US version again. Then the same with Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Buy two cartridges again. UK and US versions. but make sure you own the Nintendo Game Boy Player right version discs. If you got Nintendo Game Boy Player UK version, let's get this right. If you got Nintendo Game Boy Player disc UK version, you will need the UK cartridges for that. If you got the Nintendo Game Boy Player disc US version, make sure you got the right cartridges for that. That's all you need to understand. Because like the way you're going to buy the system, yeah? When you're going to buy the system, or you don't need a freeloader for this, yeah? Because already the Panasonic Q Games console is Japanese. The Panasonic Q Gameboy Player is Japanese, yeah? All you just do with the Panasonic Game Boy Player, you just load up that disc into the distributed tray, and you just put in what do you call it? Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy Color, Nintendo Game Advance, Japanese cartridges. It works straight away. Okay? It's just a disc, really. You see the disc? It's all about the disc. Yeah, you know Nintendo Game Boy Player disc. It's just all about that, really. The version disc you load up of the Game Boy Player, that's the version of the cartridges working this Panasonic Q Gameboy Player. It's like that. That's all it is. So there you have it. I hope this has been very informative to you, and it's giving you a lot of depth knowledge. Now, in my next follow-up videos, which will be 2 videos on this topic again, why is the Panasonic Q the most amazing gaming system ever made? Because loads of people say that, but it's not specifying what they're actually trying to say. Are they saying that to the system that no one's ever made like this? Or is the Nintendo Gamecube games comes with the system? Or both ways? Which way is it? Why is this system the most amazing? Is it just for the multimedia from Panasonic, or the Nintendo Gamecube games from Nintendo? Because I fail to understand when they say Panasonic Q is the most amazing games console, they are on about the Panasonic system. Can you see what I'm on about? Excluding the Nintendo Gamecube games. They're saying it to that. Because every single brand out there has never ever made a console like this before. But if we talk about it like that, so that means this system just becomes a Panasonic DVD player, doesn't it? Because if they're saying it's the most amazing system, then that just means it's just a concept of the Panasonic DVD player, isn't it? And the way it's designed, the way we look at it, then that means that that's got nothing to do with gaming, isn't it, really? I will be making 2 separate videos. Why is this machine so special? The next video will be on Panasonic giving us multimedia technology in this system. It's amazing on that. Then the next part will be the Nintendo gaming, which is GameCube, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Advance. Is he amazing on that side as well? Because what I'm trying to say here, is it amazing from both sides? Because a lot of people are just mentioning it's just amazing from Panasonic, yeah, because of the multimedia. Can Nintendo top the most amazing game console ever developed? Is Nintendo Gamecube one of the most amazing games console? No one's mentioned that part, have they? They're just mentioning that Panasonic Q games console is the most amazing system. But that's got nothing to do about gaming then, is it? That's just all about DVD, CD technology and multimedia stuff. But that doesn't really completely make sense, really, does it? We need to see the full package from Panasonic and Nintendo. Is this the best system ever made for DVD, multimedia, and gaming? That's the whole point here, isn't it? That's what we're trying to. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out here, because this system is confusing people. Yeah, because here there's Panasonic and Nintendo involved in this system, and it's quite confusing, isn't it? Really, how does this system become the most amazing games console ever made? All right, so there you go. I hope I've given you quite a lot of information today about the Panasonic Q Gameboy player, and you guys liked it, and now you know what this system is all about. Yeah, give your likes, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.